What became of the witches of Shrewsbury? Find out in this video. It's quite grisly. Yeah, so today on Third Rate Content, we'll be having a little video about the witches of Shrewsbury. We'll be telling you about what happened to them and the fate that met them. It all happened just over the road, just there. So get ready and I'll see you out here. So here we are at the Welsh Bridge, featured on the Bridge of the Shrewsbury video. But we're here today to talk about St George's Bridge, which stood on this very site before the Welsh Bridge. So in the 1600s, when the witches were being dealt with, the St George's Bridge would have stood here. It had shops on it, a pub apparently, and houses. Yeah, the original bridge was built around 1262 and stood for 500 years. Of course, the River Severn was the frontier with Wales. But it's interesting, with this, the Welsh Bridge was formerly called St George's Bridge. So the English bridge was the Welsh Bridge, which I find interesting. So if the witch, or the poor victim of this crime, floated...
On the other hand, you are seen to swim or float, then your confessions of witchcraft are proven beyond a doubt.
She was chased down the river by men of the town. Would have been in these coracles. These are traditional British river boats. Then dragged out, and as I said, taken up Mardle to Pride Hill. A very sad ending, really. Sad people who did these kinds of things. Even in the 1600s. They were ignorant, but they were not very nice either. So the witch would have been trussed up and dunked in here. And by dunked, they tied her up and basically hoisted her into the river. And if she floated, in their logic, it meant that God didn't want her in his river, and she was of the devil. And she was summarily carted up Mardle to the top of Pride Hill, then to the top of Pride Hill, and then burnt. Which is the way they dealt with women they didn't want in them days. It's truly awful, really. These ghost stories, they really bring out some horrible stories. King's Head. Well, the ancient pub here in Shrewsbury. You can see how warped the timbers have become over the considerable amount of years that it stood here. And again, another pub in Shrewsbury with associations with King Henry VI. Sorry, King Henry VII. And you've also got, just at the side alley here, one of the oldest... No, it's that one, sorry. One of the oldest shots, passages in Shrewsbury, and there's a load of them, and we'll cover them one day. But for now, I can imagine that this pub is haunted. Here on this timber frame building, a rendition of the Mardle, mythical Mardle monster that is, legend has it, is buried under this very street, Mardle, here in Shrewsbury. So here we are on Mardle, very historic street on Shrewsbury, making our way up to Mardle Head and continue our journey. So at the top of Mardle now, we'll just be making our way up Pride Hill. Pride Hill, Witch's Journey. At the top of there, that was the town wall. Yeah, up Pride Hill in shame. And it's the wrong shame, because they usually hadn't done anything, the witches. They were just, it's interesting. Timber frame building, was Thornton's, now empty. But yeah, they usually hadn't done anything. They were just not liked by the community. It shows the inhumanity of humans. So she would have been brought up here, up to the highest point of the town walls, up Pride Hill. Probably wasn't called Pride Hill then, because the Pride's family hadn't established themselves as the top retailers considerably before the 1700s. So this is where the highest point of the town walls would have been in the 1600s, at the height of the witch burning period in Shrewsbury. And this is where they would be brought after they floated. The logic was they didn't want to be left in God's river, so they brought them up here and burned them. Terrible. So after the so-called witch's ordeal down at the river, this is the end of her journey and the end of her life, sadly. This area here at the top of Pride Hill. Rather ominous statue of the eagle here at Barclays. Not a very particularly inviting symbol, if you ask me. Says a lot. Cross here on top of Pride Hill, presented to the town of Shrewsbury by the Shrewsbury Boys' School at the time. The boys' school, now open to both sexes, but a fee-paying school, one of the supposedly top fee-paying schools in the country. So you'd think they'd have the money to present something like this. So here we are, standing at the sort of crossroads of Castle Street, St Mary Street and Pride Hill. Pride Hill now pedestrianised. Pride Hill named after the Pride family who built this fine building. They were the top retailers in Shrewsbury in the 1700s, and they built this and then sold it on to the Morrises, who then sold it on to John Menzies, who then sold it on to W.H. Smith's, who it now is in charge of it. But there are ghosts of World War II airmen who are supposed to haunt the ballroom that still is up there on the second floor, but not open to the public sadly any longer. So that was The Witches of Shrewsbury, Shrewsbury a Ghost Town, part 2. But thanks for watching to the end. If you enjoyed what you watched, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, by all means hit that notification bell, and if I don't see you soon, I'll see you 3 times as soon. Bit of great content, sign now.